Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a tag video, and I was tagged by Vive Smack. I think that's like, I don't remember her name. I always read your guys' names, and then whenever I have to say them, I'm like, it's these letters. But I will link her channel and her video down below, and I was also tagged by that lady. So this is the packaging pet peeves tag. So I'm just going to kind of go over some of the pet peeves I have when it comes to packaging of beauty products. So I don't have a lot of examples with me because, as you guys know, I'm here. I didn't bring a ton of products with me. I only brought what I needed. So I'll just have to talk about some types of items and some I don't have anymore. So let's get right into it. And the first thing I thought of was things that are impossible to open, and the thing that comes to mind when it comes to this is the Wet n Wild eyeshadow trios. I had one of those, and it was so hard to open, and like I had to really get my nail in there, and it broke my nail a couple times, and it made me just want to never buy another Wet n Wild eyeshadow trio. I decluttered the one that I had, and it just really, like, the product inside was nice, but the packaging was enough to make me not want to buy it because, you know, I don't want to be breaking my nail. I don't need to struggle that much. Other companies make things that are much easier to open. I'm not ever going to buy a Wet n Wild eyeshadow trio again after my experience with that one, and I've heard other people say the same thing, that it wasn't just a bad one, and their 8-pan palettes are fine to open, so I don't know why the trios are so hard to open, but if they could just make it a little bit easier, I would be more into buying those and more open to getting more in the future. The next thing I thought of was this primer potion. Urban Decay just redid their primer potion packaging, and it is so much worse than what it was before. So they used to have a doe foot applicator and like a hard plastic, and I don't think people like that. I don't think I like that. So then they moved to a squeezy tube, but then they changed it to a squeezy tube with a doe foot applicator, which is just the worst. So as you can see, this is so messy. You can see there's product that gets stuck all in the cap here, and then it kind of gets all around here, and when you close it, you can just see a little, maybe you saw the little flake come off, but you can see how it's like if there's a little product up in there and then it squeezes out when you close it and dries up. It just makes it so messy and disgusting. I much prefer the packaging on the Too Faced Shadow Insurance, which is a squeezy tube with a very thin nozzle. That is perfect. Like, I don't need a doe foot applicator in a squeezy tube. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. The doe foot applicator, you know, you put it on, you're contaminating it, you're, you know, rubbing it on your skin, and then putting it back, and it just seems gross. I don't know why they went from a perfectly good squeezy tube to this. This is the worst. I hate it, and like, I love this primer potion, and I would definitely buy it again, except for this is really, like, makes me think twice about ever buying the primer potion again. I'd rather just go to my Too Faced Shadow Insurance, which I much prefer. Alright, my next pet peeve is one I don't have with me right now, but I know that Wet n Wild lipsticks. I have a Fergie lipstick that does this, and I know I think I have some mini lipsticks that do this too, but it's when they're scrolled all the way down and they still are poking out, because it's really, you have to be really careful to put the lid back on, and it's really easy to nick it and make a huge mess. Like, it's not that hard. Like, I have so many brands, almost every brand makes it so you can do that, but for some reason some brands are like, oh no, let's not do that. So I'm not a big fan of that. And then while we're talking about lipsticks, I'm also not a fan of lipsticks where the cap doesn't really snap on, or like have a magnet or something to keep it on, because I have lipsticks I put in my purse and the cap comes off, and you know, you don't want that happening in your purse. It can make a mess. It could get, you know, dust or dirt in the lipstick. That's gross. So just make it so, I don't think this is the one. I had one in my purse recently where the cap kept coming off. It wasn't this, but you know, it's not that hard. Just make a little clipping mechanism, make a magnet, make something. It's annoying because, you know, everyone carries their lipstick in their purse. It's going to get jostled around, and if it's not on there securely, like, I'm not going to want to buy that. Next is something I think is pretty common, but it's things that come in jars. And so this is just a sample, but like, I don't want to be sticking my fingers in things and, you know, doing it every day, even if my hands are clean. I don't like that, especially when it comes to eye creams. I feel like so many eye creams are in these little tiny jars. And here's one I have right here in a squeezy tube. It's so much nicer. You don't have to touch the product. It still stays good. It squeezes out. Like all eye creams and creams should come in little squeezy tubes. It's so much better. Or like if they're too thick to have a pump, squeezy tube. Just make a bigger opening. It's fine. I like it a lot better. So it might not look as fancy, but it's much more practical. Here is another one. I don't have an example with me, but it is like the Sephora concealer that I used last year. It was in a click-up pen and it had like a little brush on there. You can't really clean that brush. I mean, maybe you can, but you know, I don't want to get liquid or anything into the product, so I never wanted to wash it, but that just grosses me out to have this little brush that you're rubbing on your face all the time. It's the same reason I'm not crazy about the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind concealer that has the sponge. Like using the same sponge over and over kind of grosses me out. And another thing I didn't like about that product was that you couldn't see through it, so I had no idea when I was gonna be done with it, and which is kind of annoying because you don't want to run out of concealer one day. You want to, you know, be prepared. So I wish there was just like a little window, and that is something for a lot of products, not just that concealer. I have some Paula's Choice products I would like a little window in just so I can see where I am and, you know, be able to repurchase in time so I'm not left without one of my favorite products for, you know, however long it takes to order a new one. Alright, so that is everything I have. That's all I could think of. Let me know what your packaging pet peeves are down below. If you make videos, I would love to see you do one of these videos. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye!